Get what you want first.
There's Isaiah 9 and 5. For every battle of the warriors will confuse noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and flame of fuel of fire.
Right. That's self-explanatory. Back in the ancient world, they fought with swords. This time around, we fight with guns. Ain't nobody. Watch that movie. The Last Samurai shows you what happens when you try and run up on a gun with a sword.
That's when war was becoming modernized. You know, they had the Ammonite Empire link up with Esau. They were dealing with Esau, and they started taking down the old traditions.
And that shows you how that they were getting in bed with Esau, because you saw the emperor of Japan. He was wearing a fucking suit. He was wearing a suit. He had his hair all combed up to the side. He had a haircut. He was shaved up.
Yeah.
When the samurai had beards.
Yeah.
They brought beards, man.
Even the Bushido, which was like the master of their house, the one that worked for the samurai. You know, which just watching that and speculating right now, those are the Jakes, bro.
Well, even in that movie, it said that Tom Cruise was like, being with these people reminded me of gang. Reminded me of how the North American Indians got down. They were wearing feathers, you know what I'm saying? They would ride on horseback, practice with a bow, throw knives and all that shit, man.
Yeah, just looking at it, those are the Jakes.
And that was part of their custom, to rock a beard, man.
Yeah.
If you go to Japan today, they're afraid of people with beards. Because that was the image of the samurai. Those were fierce warriors, man. You imagine getting rolled up on a dude with a mask that's got a demon's face on it, with full fucking armor and shit. Hey man, them dudes look scary. Yeah. That's how Gat looks.
Yeah, fierce as lions.
Gat looks like that, man. They had the face paint. You got ran up on by Gat, you shitting on yourself, man.
Oh yeah, especially the Seminoles. They have like spiked red morons.
Looking crazy. Looking crazy as hell.
Terrifying, man. Look at the Aztecs and them.
Yeah, man.
Jaguar skin.
Look at them damn Mayans now.
Yeah.
With MS-13, how they be doing all that kabuki shit with their fingers, man. Talking about like them motherfuckers are scary, man. They'll cut you in pieces.
Yeah.
They'll put you in an oil drum and set you on fire.
Yeah. Sure, you're gonna put something.
Yeah, man. Dip you in a vat of acid and fucking
There's Revelation 9 and 15. And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the third part of men. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them.
Yeah, so you can see 200,000, that's 200 million, right? So when you read about the world's arsenal being shot off into America, spare no arrows, that's what you get. You get, like remember that movie 300 when he said that their arrows would blot out the sun. And then you had that dude, he says, then we'll fight in the shade. Hey, but man, there's gonna be so many damn missiles hitting this place. Yeah, you gonna think, hey, like I said, the stars are falling from. You gonna think the stars are falling from heaven, man. You see how many stars. You look up, you see all these stars. Hey, you're gonna see 200 million fucking missiles coming at you. There's like 300. There's like almost 400 million people in America. That's damn near a missile per person, man. Go ahead.
And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire, and of jacinth, and of brimstone.
Right, because when you look at a missile flying through the air, it's going to be burning auburn in different colors, man. And it's made out of metal, so you can say, oh, it got a breastplate of fucking fire, basically, man. Go ahead.
And the
It's
heads,
glowing like green and red and orange and shit flying through the sky. Go ahead.
and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone.
Right, because if you ever take a look at the picture of a nuclear missile, that shit looks scary. You see how big that fucking thing is, and the head of it, bro. You see how fat them damn things are, man. Traveling on the back of a military truck or whatever. You know, that shit looks terrifying, man. You're like, damn, that's a big boy. When that shit blows up, it's leveling everything, man.
Well, people get scared of just seeing lightning. And lightning is like very thin.
Yeah, you hear that thunder?
Yeah. Oh yeah, people get scared of that. But imagine like something like that, like that pillar falling. Some people are gonna bug out.
Right.
And a missile is like, what? Gotta be at least like 10 times bigger.
Well, the sound of a missile is gonna blow your fucking head and your ears off, man. And then, like lightning, how you mentioned, like you mentioned lightning. When lightning strikes and you hear the thunder, you'll see the flash, and then later on, it'll go, wah, you can hear that thunder come in. If you're next to a lightning strike, that sound is gonna be ear popping. I mean, it's gonna go wham. You know what I mean? Lightning strikes, that shit will strike with frightening force.
You get shocked. Like, bug out.
Yeah. If it hits you, you fucking die.
Yeah.
You could anyway. You know?
That's like,
Yeah. So, like that, and that's a good example because a nuclear missile, if it blows up, you're gonna hear that, and you're gonna see that flash of light, probably gonna melt your eyes into your head, and then you're gonna hear the boom, and it's gonna blow your ears off, and then you're gonna feel the fire. That's vicious. Yeah, it's gonna be with frightening, terrifying force, man. Go ahead.
this is Jeremiah 50 and 22. A sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations?
Right, because in Isaiah 14 it said, what, is this the man that made kingdoms to shake, that did weaken the nations? You know, the hammer of the earth, man. You know, don't fuck with this guy. He'll bomb you, man. He'll come in, he'll storm the gates, man. You know, that's what happened to them fucking Iraqis and shit, man. Esau came in and stormed the gates. You know, back when the war was going on and it was in the heat of it, you might have been rooting for America if you didn't know better, right? You was in the world or whatever. You was like, yeah, man, fuck them motherfuckers, bro. Hey, pretty much all of America was united in that. Fuck these terrorists, man. You know, remember Patrice O'Neal? He's talking about, I see this motherfucker. He's at the airline checking people in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't trust this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was saying like, hey man, the Arabs became the new ends basically. You know, everybody's looking at you weird now. You know, but now it's all coming out. You were just out there massacring civilians and shit, man, killing women and children, raping people, fucking. And all kinds of just heinous crimes, war crimes going on. You know what I'm saying? You had they were trying to accuse China of that whole thing 2020. China came out and said, well, like, what about all your war crimes, man? You want to talk about war crimes and shit? What about you? You the mastermind, man. You know, you hear war stories about these guys that were serving in Iraq talking about pilot bodies, man. You know, you lose like, or you lost like your buddy or whatever. Fucking 200 of them suffered for it.
Look what he did. Gad and Jake, man. The other tribes. This guy's a butcher. He's a butcher of men. It says, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord. The Lord had opened his armory and hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation.
Right, so just when you read about what in Isaiah, when it said, I have created the smith, the coals, and the fire, and I created the waster to destroy. So you know what that armory is actually talking about, right? And then when you go into Joel, the 2nd chapter, and it talks about what? It talks about a great army of the Lord, man, that's going to march upon the breadth of the land and turn it desolate. You know, it talks about the land being as Eden before it, and behind it a desolate wilderness. You know, so many different places in the scriptures all talking about the same thing, this nuclear destruction, because that's the final judgment. That is the great judgment that's going to happen, you know, upon this earth, upon Esau, Edom, you know, because that judgment is for this guy directly, you know. But a lot of places are going to feel that fire, man, because America's going to launch nukes. You know, go ahead.
For this is the work of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. Come against her from the utmost border, open her storehouses, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly. Let nothing of her be left. Slay all her bullocks. Let them go down to the slaughter. Woe unto them, for their day is come, the time of their visitation. The voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon, to declare in Zion the vengeance of the Lord our power, the vengeance of his temple. Call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow. Camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she hath done. Do unto her, for she hath been proud against the Lord, against the Holy One of Israel.
Amen. Going back to Isaiah 14 again, the Lord is stirring up the nations against thee. You know? And this message is for Esau, man. And when I say Esau, I'm talking about these elites, these million, billion, gazillionaires, these politicians, man, these people in high offices. You know, these tech wizards that are rolling out the mark, like all these people that are in these secret societies, man, that are in the know, they can see this and know what it is that we're talking about. You know, we know what, you know, it's really to tell you that all hell is getting ready to really break loose on you. It's for you. You know, of course there's going to be 2/3 of Jake, whatever, man. Hey, a lot of Jake's going to be saved. I'll tell you that. A lot of Israelites.
Yeah, 2/3 are of their father. 2/3 are spiritual ease.
All you Jakes at the Grammys, you know, at Jay-Z concerts and Beyonce concerts, throwing up them signs and shit, man. You with the system, you know, you're gonna catch that heat, man.
Yeah, all the Jakes that are even in these secret societies.
Oh yeah, all in the different high offices, entertainers out there, man.
Because you got like Shaq. Shaq's a Freemason.
Yeah, God.
You know,
Yeah.
you actually show them wearing those Freemason garments, man. You know, or Shriners. You got a lot of Jakes that are Shriners. You know, Jakes and all manner of wickedness, man. But the original Freemasons were Jakes anyway, right? You know, Esau perverted all that.
Revelation.
Back in Revelation 9 and 17. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire, and of jacinth, and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire, and smoke, and brimstone. By these three was the third part of men killed by the fire, and by the smoke, and by the brimstone, which issued out of their mouths. For their power is in their mouth and in their tails, for their tails were like unto serpents, and had heads, and with them they do hurt.
Right, man, because the power is in the head, because that's where the explosion comes out from. That's why it says with their mouth they do hurt. Out of their mouth issue fire and smoke and brimstone, that explosion. But the power was also in their tail, because that's what propelled it into the air. And his body was as a serpent's body because you could see the trail of smoke as it goes through the air, serpentining like a serpent, man. Flying through the sky, you can see that trail.
Hence the word warheads. Because with their heads, they do hurt.
And if I have not convinced you that this is talking about nuclear missiles, man, hey, you know, to the law, to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. So with that, you know, we're going to give all praise, honor, and glory
To Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Harakah.
Love lines to our apostles and elders, the great millstone, and Shalom to the hopefully elect, Gawada, Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai. And hopefully this was an edifying camp, man. You know.
Shalom.
Shalom.